you live from the world famous Comedy Store main room for a brand new episode of Kill Tony Volume 4. Give it for Tony Hinchcliffe!
Yeah, hi everybody. Put your hands together. It's a Monday night. We're here live in the main room of the Comedy Store. It's all happening. This is great. Yeah, we got Jamie Vernon on the HD camera there in the back. We're on live stream right now. And Ryan J. Ebelt's here, everybody, the house artist. Look at that. There's a blank sheet of paper right now. He's going to drop tonight's episode. You're going to get to see that at the end. I'm excited about a lot of stuff, a lot of tour dates coming up, and fun things. So go to TonyHinchcliffe.com. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. How you guys doing? Red Band? The one and only Red Band's here, everybody.
Hey.
Right here. Put your hands together for him. What's up, Ryan?
Oh.
What's the good word? Anything good happening?
Nothing much, man. Have you been checking out the Olympics at all? You see that fatality leg that burst into a triangle, Illuminati triangle?
Yeah, I saw that. That was cool. Did you see how bad the Filipino diving team is?
That was from last
Anybody
time.
see that? Oh, it was?
Yeah.
I don't know how that works. Tulsa, Sacramento, San Francisco, Boston's Wilbur Theater in October, and Oddball. And I'm in Australia. If you're listening to the podcast right now from Australia, I'm there the middle of October. I'm with you. You ready to start the fucking show or what, you motherfuckers? We have the coolest thing that we've ever had on this show. It's a band. They've been with us for quite a while now. I absolutely love them. Always a grand entrance when I bring up the style of your Kill Tony band. The one, the only. Reagan and Watkins, ladies and gentlemen. And Joel Jimenez on drums. The Batman appears to be... Oh, all right. Alfred left. Hey, that's the entrance of Reagan and Watkins, everybody. Fuck yeah. I love that. I couldn't quite see what was happening. Alfred, you were just sort of running around there.
I didn't know what to do, because Master Wayne was in danger.
Is that really Master Wayne? I mean, he looks a little brown. How many people can you fit in your Batmobile?
Quite a bit.
I love this costume. You guys outdo yourselves every week. Reagan and Watkins, everybody, they're here.
Thank you so much, Golden Pony.
Thank you, Alfred. It's such an honor to have you on the show. Joker, how are you? I've been a fan of yours for quite some time. It's a pleasure to have you on the show. How are you, Joker?
I'm fine, thank you, Tony.
This is very good.
I feel like the audience is looking at us, like what is going on right now? What in God's name is happening right now on Kill Tony?
I think I have an idea. I think you guys are paying always a different entrance. Last week we had Trump and Hillary in the band, and this week obviously it's the Joker and Alfred and Batman in homage to the new Suicide Squad movie. And according to a lot of people on Twitter, they wish you guys were part of a different Suicide Squad because they hate you guys lately. It's been pretty vicious. Just a lot of people critiquing. I don't know if you guys have seen any of that. Can you see through your mask, Joel? Have you seen that on Twitter?
I've gotten some nice feedback lately.
I love a Batman that has curly ears. Like it's you can tell that mask is in a bag with the rest of the stuff. You gotta iron out your ears if you're gonna do Batman, dude. All right, the band is here. We're almost there. You guys ready to meet tonight's comedian guests, huh? That's another part of the puzzle. 2 guests every single week, always 2 of my funniest friends. This week's no different. Return of 2 of my favorite guests, 2 of my favorite human beings, and 2 of my best friends. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the machine, Bert Kreischer, and the host of Roast Battle, Brian Moses. There they are, Bert Kreischer.
Listen, if I pass out from laughing, it's normal. I took a weird pill today.
Are you just gonna wake up a little bit after that?
No, because I have this, I'll start coughing and then you'll see it in my eyes. I passed out once today from laughing. So, I'm being dead fucking serious. It's affecting my blood pressure medication. And so if I pass out, it's totally normal. Just wake me up and I'll be back.
Is it a gas station boner pill? What is it that you took? What's a weird pill?
It's it has pseudoephedrine in it. And I don't know what it is, and then I took this painkiller, which is supposed to get rid of a cough, and then all this mixed with my blood pressure medicine and a cup of coffee and a cigar, and next thing you know, I'm coughing and I passed out.
Wow.
Kill Bert.
Yeah.
Kill
Welcome
Bert.
to a special episode where
You'll see it in my eyes, though. I'll go like this. It's probably bad to do on a podcast.
well, I mean, so can you tell us what the difference between that and a heart attack would be, so that we know?
No, it's just, it's almost like getting choked out. It's happened to me like
Sexy.
3 times. It happened once at radio. It's like whenever I get a cough.
Dude, if you died on this podcast, we would get so many downloads.
You realize?
Do you have any more painkillers you could take? You want a drink or anything like that?
No.
Oh shit, we're losing everybody.
It's already started.
We got one down. Oh, here it goes. This is epic. You just started sweating on that
I
one.
know. I'm not healthy right now.
Well, thanks for coming on the show. Moses, how are you? You're fresh back out of roast battle. Different kind of
Better
battle.
Bert right now. I'm exhausted. Great work, by the way. You
course.
guys saw Tony on TV last week.
Yeah, it was fun. Jeremiah Watkins shaved his pubes. Shaved his pubes. The first man to ever shave his pubes live on Comedy Central. Right there. I'm sure all the Alfreds from Batman are so proud right now watching this.
Mom must be so proud of you.
The mother that raised me is so proud right now.
Have you been getting a lot of feedback about that? Like, did people find you and talk with you
Question
about
when you go on stage now?
shaved pubes?
I mean, I get some tweets that are like, "Are you the pube guy?" And I, quote the tweet, and I say, "Yes, I am."
Very honest. Well, you guys know how it goes down. I have a bucket filled with names of comedians, and for some reason, still a Pokemon ball from about a month ago. I pull a name out of the bucket. You get to do 60 seconds if you signed up for the show. You know your 60 seconds is up when you hear the sound of a kitty. Oh, that's adorable. Wrap it up then, or else you're going to bring out the angry West Hollywood bear. That's the one.
Put your hands up now or I'll shoot!
Oh my god. That's enough. The ones that say things never work. I don't know why you never try them. We've been through this. It's like 0 for 79 all times.
George Zimmerman sound effect? What the fuck was that?
Yeah.
Hey, did you see that he got beat up?
Yeah, he always gets beat.
But he got beat up, and the guy beat him up because he thought he liked black people.
Is that true?
I swear to God, he called him an N-word lover and beat him up. And George Zimmerman's like, "No, I shot one." And the guy still beat him up and left. He's like, "I'm on your team, asshole."
Is that true?
Yeah. He was a biker with a Confederate flag on, and I guess he just, I don't know, man. I guess he's not really into news.
Some men have no logic. Some men just want to watch the world burn.
You could barely get through that one, huh? Alfred, you thought that was so funny, you almost choked on your own words.
I also had some food poisoning earlier, so I'm feeling
That is true, actually. In the green room, Jeremiah was vomiting profusely, so put your hands together for our showman. Showman of the year. The article, Jeremiah Watkins, goddamn comedy jam, kill Tony, stand up on the spot, roast battle. These guys,
Are you feeling okay right now, or are you?
if Alfred pukes on this show, right in the middle of the stage, let's get this shit.
Do it legit.
Because if you puke, Bert's probably gonna pass out from laughing so hard.
We'll pass out.
It's gonna be awesome. We'll have that GIF forever.
Cops will come in.
Just like 9 seconds
Shoot
of
Brian.
Alfred just Bert just like that'd be amazing. Oh, it's gonna happen. Alright, so let's get this fucking party started. Here we go. You ready to start the show? That's true. I know, you're like, wow, this was cozy. I thought the show already started. No. It's like when the nurse gives you that shot, you don't even know it's over yet. Okay. I pulled a name out of the bucket. Your first comedian. So let me remind you of how random this craziness is. Like literally anybody on the front patio between 6 and 7:30 can sign up for this show. So you never know what's going to happen. Sometimes it's a awesome new comedian on the rise. Sometimes it's a homeless person. Sometimes it's whatever. You can imagine everything in between. I pulled the name out of the bucket. Your first person doing an uninterrupted 60 seconds tonight is Kevin Cavinas.
Hi, everybody, good to be here. I love stand-up comedy. I love the fact that it's ours. It's a uniquely American art form from right here in the United States, like jazz or like abstract art. And I think it's interesting that those three uniquely American art forms have made their biggest advances because of artists who were blown out of their fucking minds on drugs. I think that's cool. And you think back 100 years, there was an American painter, got his hands on some drugs, took the drugs, his mind started to expand, and he immediately realized that he was sick and he was tired of looking at paintings of fat, naked white people and bowls of fruit. So he said, fuck it. Took some more drugs, made a painting with a lady with an upside-down head and a body made out of triangles. European audiences didn't know what the fuck to do with it, but American audiences loved it. Because the real Americans in the audience were out of their fucking minds on drugs too. We have all the drugs in America. That's what makes America great. We have all the drugs and we have hordes of people working feverishly to make even more drugs. I think that's cool and I can't wait to see what comes next. Thank you.
Wow. All right. Kevin, I gotta tell you, you might be the funniest substitute teacher that we've ever had on the show. Are you a substitute teacher, Kevin?
I'm not a substitute.
You should be, starting immediately. What do you think about that? What do you do for work, Kevin?
I used to do work in risk management on major, like multi-billion
Risk
dollar
management, like, you know, like big risks, like going out and just talking about the art form of comedy and how it's grown with no punchlines? Did you manage that risk correctly, Kevin?
I manage it a lot better when I have more than 60 seconds to work with. So all I had.
You were going to go longer with that? All right, cool.
I've gone longer with that, and it's called applause breaks. It's double, but I can't. I try to cut a.
I'm gonna stop you right there. don't try to write for applause breaks. I think that's the biggest mistake a comic can ever make. Is like, this will get an applause, because you should have just opened up with, "Don't you love the military?" And then they have to clap. But don't do that. I'm kind of curious see, the part of the comedy that I liked that I don't think you understood was comedy was when you lost me in a sentence about the upside down triangles with art with a naked woman and a fat chick.
Fuck that up.
Okay.
Yeah, that's when I realized I was going to call you a substitute teacher at that moment, like that. If you're wondering, when I made the
history
decision.
lesson.
Well, yeah, it just seemed like what was the punchline to that?
It just, the punchline goes into America, we have all the drugs. I mean, it's a longer bit. Everyone in America is on some kind of drug.
Kevin,
Music sucks now because people don't do drugs.
I thought you were gonna pass out drugs. I mean, that's what I felt like the whole time. So when that applause break comes in, you just pass out a bunch of fucking heroin needles, and everyone's like, yeah!
The coolest guy at Johnson & Johnson.
It's a bit I wrote on stage, and it does a lot better. And I thought, you know what I'll do? I haven't been on stage in a couple months either, so I was like, you know what? I need to, I've been tied up in my day job. I needed to come out.
What's your day job?
I manage risk on major construction projects. But
what does that mean exactly?
Like Wilshire Grand downtown or LAX. It's multi-billion-dollar projects.
So wait, risk? You mean people dying?
Oh, I mean people dying. I mean,
talk about that!
Well, I have to get, I'm transitioning out of that, and I have to get completely out of that. There are shareholders, there are lawyers involved. I can't come out and just talk about that kind of shit because I'll get sued into fucking oblivion. So I need to completely.
I rolled the dice on the lawsuit.
True story.
By the way, rappers always talk about selling drugs and never get arrested. Go with that.
The reason it's been 2 months since I've been on stage is I'm tied up in a lawsuit now, and it's been depositions and fucking it's.
Is the lawsuit from the girl whose hoodie she left over your place?
That's a different law. That's a different matter.
What's your love life like? You don't have a ring on the finger. You
No.
seem like you drive like a Viper convertible or something like that, right?
I don't drive a Viper convertible. I fucking I tried to get a vasectomy when I was like 21.
Okie dokie, we're going right there. All right, straight to. Thank you for the rim shot, by the way, Joel. He mentions vasectomy, Joel's
I don't want kids. I never wanted fucking kids. I knew it when I had a reason.
Jesus, Kevin, relax. Take a breath for a second. You know, like you know that the podcast doesn't shut down if you stop talking, right? And then I was doing this, Kevin. So let's slow it down for a second.
By the way,
I just took a 7-minute set and compressed it into 60 seconds.
Yeah,
that was your mistake.
Yeah,
I would have
yeah.
done a 60-second set in 60 seconds. Don't try to make it more than it is. I don't know. Like, do you do coke?
Not in a long time, but I've got a fucking history, dude. But no,
What kind of history do you have?
Seconds.
Other than the class that you're teaching tomorrow afternoon. What history with drugs do you have?
I lived in Reno, Nevada for a long time, if that's a start. So there's there's meth everywhere, coke everywhere, no last calls, bars never shut down. So you can party for fucking days. And there were times, like when I turned 21, I didn't come home for a week and a half.
Dude, can I tell you something about you?
Week and a half. It's a fucking 21.
Look at, like, you should do what you're set in the mirror because you look really fucking intense. Like, you're like, dude, I fucking lived in Reno, man. There's meth, there's fucking hookers, no one's got teeth. I gotta almost die. I wanna go home. I'm gonna cry. Like,
You want to talk about some crazy shit, bro? One time when I was 21, didn't come home for a week and a half.
It's just an example. That was one
I'm in a fucking lawsuit. You have no fucking idea. They got me fucking locked down in depositions all day. I did coke once in college. Kill a man. Fucking kill a man. But that is who you are. That's who we're seeing. Let that be funny.
Yeah.
As opposed to just, drugs are fucking awesome, man. Europeans don't get us. Like,
Yeah. Let that rip. That is true. You seem to have a lot of passion in there.
I can do that, and that energy will come out and it'll connect, but I've never done it and tried to do it in 60 seconds. I mostly came here to...
All right, and that
Man, you're giving me 60 heart palpitations.
I know what this show is.
I can fuck chicks in 60 seconds.
Beat that.
But yeah, take that.
Kevin, when's the last time you got laid?
Too long ago. It was upstairs, and it was...
Wait, it was upstairs
It was
here?
months ago. Yeah, it was upstairs.
Here's a new set.
Yeah, who was that with?
Can you imagine? I don't think she's in here, but I probably better not say.
You
Because
imagine
if she comes back, I'm gonna fuck
That
her.
was great. I didn't wear a condom. We could have AIDS. Like, seriously.
Did you wear a condom?
Yeah.
Really? You had one in your pocket?
Yeah.
Well, wait.
Well, I knew she was going to be in town, so I fucking I brought several condoms.
But Kevin,
I didn't know what to do upstairs.
you wore a condom, but then what was the point of the vasectomy?
I didn't get the vasectomy. I tried to. When I
Why
was
do you say
21.
vasectomy instead of
It's a great question, though.
I'm poorly educated. No, I tried to when I was in my early 20s. I lived with a girl. She worked in a doctor's office. He did that. And I said, hey, man, I want to get snipped. And he wouldn't do it. He's like, you're too young. You'll come back and we
Okay,
don't
it's
do
focus on these stories and those weird things I don't need to know about them could make them funny when you do stand-up. I don't know, look at this girl. She was a fucking meth addict, a stripper. I met her at a tea shop. Allow yourself. You have the right ability. You seem to like to do that. But allow yourself to go off into bizarreness and be intense and be too intense.
Yeah.
Like almost too much for people to handle, and people will start laughing, I think.
Stop trying to do the stuff that you're like trying to remember, like the bullet points that you had, and just like totally just let it rip.
Did that show you guys? Or did everyone see it? I know Tony's going to see it. Did everyone see that when I was doing my set?
What are you guys asking? What are you asking right now? I've never seen that before. In 170 episodes, I've never seen somebody take their own poll like I was wrong.
Right? Tony.
Now, we heard from the judges. Now it's time. Text your response to 715. Did you notice that? What the fuck,
I
Kevin?
like that. You're funny when you're not trying to be fucking funny.
Yeah.
I thought,
What was that like? By the way, I've never seen crowd work done mass shooting style. By the way, what do you guys do? What do you do for work? Kevin, wow, you are accidentally funny.
But folks, allow that to be. That's not bad.
No, I'll take it.
You're not trying to be funny. That's when you're the funniest.
Kevin, have you ever seen a roast battle before?
Yeah.
Have you ever done one?
I did the stand-up.
Moses, do you think we could put together some kind of middle-aged matchup or something like that? Find this guy.
Oh, fuck.
Find this guy some kind of like opponent that's just like. I don't know. Is there anybody over there? All right. Fuck it. Anything else, Kevin?
You know what? I did my first.
Oh, wait a second. I didn't. Normally, nobody ever answers that.
I was going to show some respect, man.
Let's hear it. Go ahead.
I did my first set of stand-up 3 years ago in the OR. Tony was the MC. And
Is that true?
That's 100% true, and he fucking treated me right. And you could have.
I mean, wait a second. Was I the person that you fucked here at the comedy store? Some nights I drink.
But
And
it was my first set. He could have shit all over my act, and I'd never come back, and he didn't do it. And so I kept at it.
I probably should have, Kevin. I'm not gonna lie. Looking back on it, if I had a time machine and I could go back 3 years, I probably would have shit on you a little harder.
If I had a time machine and I could go back 30 seconds, I'd have said I don't have anything else.
There you go. Closing strong. Kevin Kavinas, ladies and gentlemen. There he goes. Oh my goodness, I love this show. It's just so random. You just never know.
He could be put into a sitcom of like the guy that walks into the break room at lunch and just unloads and everyone's like this. And then he just walks out and they're like, whoa. That's Kevin for you.
Kevin Kavinas. He's on Twitter at Kavinas, Kivenas. So if you're listening to the podcast, sure, go follow him. He's probably already following you. I pulled another name out of the bucket. Put your hands together for Tyler Guazar.
Hey. Like you said, my name's Tyler. I really hate my name, Tyler. Like, when I hear Tyler, I always picture, like, some white douche with, like, a pink sweater tied around his neck or something. You know what I mean? Or, like, a bully in an 80s movie. But, like, not the main bully. Like, the third-in-command bully. You know what I'm talking about? Kick his ass, Johnny! You know, that guy. That's who Tyler is. That's one thing I'm, like, really jealous of black dudes for. Black dudes got cooler names, you know what I mean? Like, all my black friends have a cooler name than me. DeAndre, Tyrell, both my black friends have a cooler name than me. One of my favorite things they do is when they take like a boring white name and just put "la" in front of it, and immediately it's like a way better name somehow, you know? Like Michael, average white dude. Put "la" in front of it, you got "La Michael."
Fuck yeah. Tyler Guazar.
Great work, Tyler the Uncreative. Let's hear another white guy talk about black names are so cool. Real fucking inventive, Tyler.
Yeah, that's
Also
known as Kevin's son. Good job.
That's exactly what I was just gonna say. I mean, you and Kevin are just totally like that father and son in this sitcom that we're casting, right? I mean, it looks like you guys. He's like, "Don't go up without your hoodie, son," and he took it off and gave it to you. Right before you came out here. You're wearing the exact same hoodie. It looks like you just threw it on, like you were walking up, and he's like, "Oh, it's your turn. Promised I'd let you wear it if you got pulled, son."
I like how he was doing the black name thing, and there's literally a black guy right behind him named Brian.
Not LeBrian.
You met LeBrian Moses.
I thought you were gonna take those. I was hanging out with my black friends, and I thought you were gonna name off the Jackson 5, which I thought would have been funnier. They were like Michael, Tito, I don't know the rest of them. I was gonna Google it, but they're dead.
Now, I noticed, Tyler, you were one of the few comedians ever to bring a beverage up with you for 60 seconds. In a post-interview, you brought a Coors Light cup of, I believe that's water?
It's just water.
What happens if you don't have water for like 3 or 4 minutes?
Oh no, it was in my hands. It was just in my hands. I'm like, oh, wait, I gotta go up, and I didn't think.
Wait, could you do your reaction one more time? By wrapping it up?
It's like that, right?
Tyler, who, like, so you told us who the people with the name Tyler are. Who are you?
What?
Like, you were like, every time you hear, like, Tyler, I thought you were actually describing yourself. When you're like, Tyler's like the fucking white guy that looks like a fucking preppy, and he's got the, and you kind of was like painting yourself.
Yeah.
And then you're like the third command bully, and I was like, I see it. At like a private school. And then, but who are you? Like, what kind of Tyler are you?
Who are you?
Welcome to Finding Your Voice with Bert Kreischer.
Like, if you're gonna paint the three Tylers, then paint your Tyler too. I'm the kind of Tyler that sucks dick in a steam room, or like.
Hell yeah.
What kind of Tyler are you?
I don't know. I'm 24. I'm
Answer it. Sing it to us. Stop.
Sing it. Sing it to
Like right
the
now.
song.
Hold on. Are you ready? Ready? I'll do it right here. My name is Bert Kreischer, alcoholic. I got 2 kids, a wife, and dog. I'm renovating my house. I can't afford it. I'm outgrowing my dick pretty quickly. Who are you, Tyler?
All true. Your turn, Tyler. Hit it.
Go ahead, Tyler. Start with your age.
You have
Start with
to.
your age and who lost your virginity to? Here you go.
Tell us about losing your virginity.
It wasn't good.
That's exactly why it's great. Keep going, Tyler.
You remember that movie 10,000 BC?
No.
No one does.
10,000 black cops?
I was living in this shitty town. They were building like our first mall, and I took the girl to that movie, and then we went to like a Payless. There was a future Payless.
Yeah, welcome to another episode of Who Are You?
Oh, keep going, Tyler! You
got it. Payless Shoe Store. Nothing gets girls wetter than $10 penny loafers. Come on.
It wasn't a Payless yet. It was,
Oh!
So you're in the skeleton of a Payless shoe store in a soon-to-be-built mall. You saw the movie.
You've ever done.
Shit. We're losing. Don't lean back. Don't lean back. Don't lean back.
Oh my God. Keep this story going.
You're doing it, Tyler.
You saw a movie none of us remember, and you took her to a place none of us go to. Keep going.
well, I had never seen porno before. I didn't really know what to do to.
How old were you?
I was 13, 14. I was 14.
Wow, 14. No porno.
No, I had 4 brothers and 1 computer, and I was in the living room. So I was like,
You didn't need porno as 4 brothers.
it was alright.
This is all part of it. Do you see it, Tyler? Do you see why that's funny?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Is this in
Oh, you do? Really, asshole? Fuck you, then.
One time.
No, don't do a bit to me. Keep talking about this.
Okay, so the thing was, I was having trouble like getting it in. Like it was difficult. I felt like I was just mashing it.
Yeah. Keep going. Describe it. Why wasn't it going in?
I think I was too high on the vagina.
Right now, everybody in the audience is like, holy shit, I think I can do stand-up comedy. I think, did they just break it down right in front of us? This shit is epic. Even you laughed your ass off at your own stupid-ass story. You thought the vagina was a little higher up. By the way, I tend to think that in boys that's a very common misconception because our thing hangs right off the front.
So he's sticking his dick through her zipper. Her pubic bone.
Yeah. Is that what it was like?
You fucked her in a Payless?
It was like a cinder block square.
So you're just trespassing in more ways than one.
There was like no doors, so you could see all the cars driving by, and there was like plastic hanging from the front.
Jesus Christ.
That was an indie girl way.
It might have been a cool setup.
Where did you grow up?
In El Centro.
That makes sense.
Wow, that sounds like the center of hell. Up until El Centro.
It's like a desert town.
So
Southern California.
So she had nowhere to run.
So Tyler, you're in a Payless, you're in the skeleton. How does this thing end? You end up climaxing?
I don't think I did.
You don't think you did?
I did.
How long have you had that loaded up? Oh my god. Just waiting for it to go gay at any moment.
Always goes gay.
I already like this joke. There's, Tyler's such a weird name. The first part you did with the preppy thing, the second part you did with the bully, or the Tyler that loses his virginity in a built-out Payless, and then just look at the crowd and be like, okay. Like, I like the. You need to tell them more about yourself.
Yeah.
You're bizarre.
It's a bad story. I don't think I only told that one other time, and it was at an open mic too, because I didn't.
Be vulnerable. Be open.
Yeah, let it rip.
Yeah.
Do you think she climaxed?
Oh no.
That's when you know it's funny, because Bert literally is about to die. It's so close.
Oh.
So real. Oh
No. Oh, definitely not. Wow. So, do you think you got it in there?
Oh, I got it in, a couple times.
A couple times? At least 2 or 3. Wait the whistle on that one. 2 or 3 pomeroonies. She was a real scallywag of
It's
a
not a
lady.
carnival game.
I don't know what to tell you. I don't got any other answers. It was bad.
Have you gotten laid since then, Tyler? Have you gotten laid since then? When's the last time you got laid? You said that with a lot of swagger.
Upstairs, like 2 weeks ago.
Nailed it, Brian Redband, with a sound effect from his mouth. That was. Tell us something else interesting about you, Tyler. What makes you different than everybody else? Do you have any special skills or talents or anything like that?
I don't think so.
You're the youngest.
Yeah, I'm young.
No, you're the youngest out of the 4 brothers with 1 computer in the living room.
I'm the oldest and the shortest.
Do you still live with
Wait
the
a minute, what?
I'm the oldest. So.
And the shortest, wait.
They're all.
They're all shorter?
No, they're all. I'm the shortest.
Oh. I thought you were the oldest, sorry.
Yeah, you said that you never masturbated to porn because there was 4 brothers.
Well, it's a small apartment with 7 people in it.
It's an apartment?
Yeah, I grew up in a
This
small
is getting
apartment.
sadder and sadder.
Oh, you guys are white, right?
No.
Yeah, what do your parents
You didn't think about that?
What do your parents do for a living?
My
Drugs?
dad's a trucker.
Like,
Really?
This is perfect. This is who you are.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I tried talking because I'm Mexican. I don't really know.
You're fucking Mexican! Tyler!
You're Mexican?
Tyler!
We played the fucking song Who Are You for 7 minutes, you asshole! How are we fucking this up now? I was about to let you go 30 seconds ago. Tyler, what do you mean you're Mexican? Let's slowly, by the way, let's just take a moment to reflect how we found out that he was Mexican. We found out there were 7 people living in an apartment beforehand, and we're like, what? What do you mean? I don't understand what that means, 7 white people in an apartment. 2 minutes later, he goes, well, I mean, I am Mexican. What?
The Payless story makes so much more sense now.
I can't jerk off in the living. Of course you can. Oh my god. Your dad's a truck driver.
Yeah.
That's that seems like that would be like the loneliest thing to have a dad do for a living.
Well, I mean,
That
on
seems like
summer
like
vacation, I'd go with him. For
On
a few days.
trips?
On trips and stuff, yeah.
That's
Why don't you? I mean, I don't want you to come up here like, so I'm Mexican, but you don't look it, and you're Tyler.
No, I mean, I've been trying to talk about like being Mexican, but some people don't believe me, and then
Make them.
and then some. I don't know.
Do you speak Spanish?
No.
Well, they don't believe you, Tyler, because you're probably not saying that you have to acknowledge it. You have to literally say, I'm the whitest Mexican you'll ever see in your entire life.
I'm kind of new to stand-up. I'm trying to figure out how to make like my family life funnier.
You you ever hit a piñata?
Oh yeah.
You really do that.
Every year.
Like trying to really test your Mexicanness.
But she doesn't do it.
Well, so like what it is, my mom was white, because she was a...
She was white? And she got fucked by so many black guys that she turned Mexican. It's a weird thing. Yeah. Yeah. She's there tapping that ass.
I'm hoping the past tense isn't because she's deceased. Keep going, Tyler.
She was white.
Oh, good. Okay, she was.
Now she's green. She's been dead for 2 years.
She was a paranoid schizophrenic, and I got taken away when I was 3, and then my grandma, my Mexican side of my family, became a foster parent, and then I grew up like that with all my I don't know my white family. I only know my Mexican family.
Oh, you're like Mowgli.
Mowgli?
I'm being a border town in California.
The Jungle Book, Tony. Heard of it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good job.
So your mom is, your real mom is in a psych ward?
I don't know now. I don't know where she is.
Wow.
Okay, you don't have to go into all those details in stand-up. However, do you understand that, like, my background is like I just had a mom, a dad, 2 sisters, and that's it. 2 kids, nothing big. I can make that funny. You have a lot of interesting stuff that no one has, but we find interesting. The fact that your name is Tyler, you're Mexican, you have 4 brothers, and you grew up in a Mexican household, and that's very different. So write jokes about you, and you'll stand out, as opposed to like, you told a joke about what the types of Tylers are, you didn't talk about the Mexican ones.
Yeah. And you know what? I would argue that your mom going crazy is funny if you want to talk about it, you know?
Yeah.
A Mexican mom going crazy? I'm sure there's something there. You know, living La Vida Loca or something like that? No? You can't hear it over Brian's sound effect.
Tony, I just like to think that there's a guy in the back of the club whenever he's talking about being Mexican that looks at him and is like, man, this guy's a poser, man. What are you talking about?
It's me,
Right behind you, Joel. I think there's always room for another Mexican.
You're right, and I take it back. All right. Back to you, Tony.
Thank you for our senior percussion correspondent, Joel Jimenez, throwing it back to me. One of my favorite things.
Senior.
Okay, Tyler. And I mean, there must be something else. Nothing else? What else? Mexican? We've learned so much. I feel like I'm missing something, though. I feel like you're not being honest about something.
Oh, what are your brother's names?
Tell us the most vulnerable thing that you don't want anybody to know about you right now.
I mean, I'll say it. I don't know.
Well, you didn't say in your minute. What?
Have you ever fingered your ass while jacking off?
No.
Me either, then.
I haven't done that for another reason.
Why?
What's the other reason?
reason?
Oh, you were born without an asshole.
Yeah.
Wait, what's the other reason?
Right now, I'm dealing with a lingering case of hemorrhoids.
At 24?
Breaking news.
When you put a tire
I
on the house.
was in the Navy. I was in deployment, and they gave me just.
You're in the Navy too? What the fuck, Tyler?
Tyler,
I see interesting things about you.
you are so bad at telling people about you. It's incredible. Like, it's mind-blowing. I feel like any second we're going to find out, like, oh, I won the lottery, $35 million last year. Filthy rich. You guys didn't know that? Oh.
Tony, what do you think his dating profile looks like?
Oh, jeez. I don't know. I don't know what the dating profile
You have any
looks
kids?
like.
No.
You were in the Navy. How long were you in the Navy for?
6 years. I'm not officially out for 2 more weeks. I'm on vacation. Saved all my vacation days for I had 70 vacation
Fuck yeah, like a real hero.
What's the craziest thing about the Navy that no one would know about? Like, don't try to be funny. What's something about the Navy that no one would know about that you were like, oh, this would be... Like, when I was in a fraternity, they used to make us jack off on a cookie, and the last person that came had to eat it.
Ookie Ookie Cookie. I've heard of this.
Yeah, we call it sloppy biscuit, but...
Oh, Jesus.
But the gag was...
Did you ever eat it?
No, the gag was, they blindfold you, they tell you to do it, and then you wait to figure out if you did it, and then they tap you on your shoulder and go take your blindfold off, and it was just 3 dudes jacking off like crazy, and we were naked too, and we just watched them all jack off and come, and then we clapped. But no, what's the thing about the Navy where you're just like, people would never fucking believe this?
It's raining!
I'm pretty sure we just found out that Bert Kreischer applauded 3 guys jerking off. I don't know what happened. You described the craziest shit to try to ask him about that movie. So check it out. We're playing Thick Biscuit, and so what's the craziest thing you saw in the Navy? Why would you applaud them? And what was that for? Oh God, no. Oh no. Oh shit. God, what is the craziest thing you've seen in the Navy?
Dude, sucking dicks.
I mean, Bert really wants to basically jerk off to this later, so make it good and steamy it.
And then like, guy falls off
I
the
don't know what
boat.
the crazy. Oh yeah, people fell off the boat. Damn, I don't know. There's just all
What
this.
happens if someone falls off the boat?
Pretty much
They're
died.
probably fucking done. But usually, I mean, they have like a vest that an alarm goes off to hit the water, and then everyone's got to fucking let it out.
Tyler.
Awesome. You don't sound like you pay attention to your life a whole lot.
Well, I mean, I'm still so close to it, and that was like my.
You were there for 6 years.
And it's hard to be like, oh, everyone else thinks this is crazy, but it was like, oh, that's normal. That's what normal was.
So what do
I'm
you
still
think?
trying to-
What do you think was normal?
Well, I mean, I used to hang out with this girl that got in trouble for chugging fucking hand sanitizer and she had to get drunk because we were so bored. I don't know.
You used to hook up with this chick?
I didn't hook up with my buddy did.
Wow, your buddy fucked a chick that drank hand sanitizer like on the regular?
Cleanest throat ever.
She was a black.
Yeah.
She was a black chick named Kira.
There he is. You switched that Alfred voice for that chick if you didn't notice, by the way. It was so good you had to get it out of character. Tyler, it was nice to meet you, dude. There he goes. Tyler Blazar, everybody. He's on Twitter at Tyler Blazar, G-Y-Z-A-R. That's a Mexican last name. He's actually a Mexican. It's like a white back. Something like that, right?
Wait, did you just check him out when he walked out? What did you say? He has a nice back?
No, he said he's a white back.
Oh.
Instead of a wet back, it didn't get anything. I was actually pretty surprised. He's a white Mexican. You called him wetbacks. I called him a white back. Thank you. I'm excited about this name because I've never seen it before. Put your hands together for Kavion Morgan. Or Ravion Morgan? Ravion? Kavion? Sounds like the kind of person that wouldn't show up. It's true, right? I mean, is that racist to say that? It's not about the black thing, it's just about, like, the blackness of the name. Am I making it worse by explaining it now? Put your hands together for Spencer Gill.
Hello. Watch a lot of TV. My favorite show is Naked and Afraid. I like everything about it except for the opening sequence. They say, naked and afraid. It's the Everest of survival challenges. No, it's not. The last time I checked, Everest was still the Everest of survival challenges. Like, nobody's died on Naked and Afraid. They just got hot and quit. People die every year on Everest. And they have to leave them up there. And the guides use them as landmarks. Like, are we to the top yet? Yeah, we're pretty close. How do you know? Oh, that's Bob right there. He almost made it to the top last year. Cut to Bob. He's frozen solid. He's got his trendy North Face jacket on. He's spooning an empty oxygen tank. Yeah, you almost got that cool Facebook profile picture. That's it.
Fuck yeah, Spencer Gill. I like your style, Spencer. Where you from, man? Washington, Oregon.
No, Illinois.
Illinois. All right, the Oregon of the Midwest. I love it. Spencer,
Los Angeles?
1 month.
How long you been doing stand-up?
I started in 2007, but there's been some hiatuses in there.
I would imagine so. 2007, that's a long time ago. What were the hiatuses?
College, I worked at a factory and I couldn't really get, and I lived like in a podunk small town, so.
No.
You do have that, hey, I'm lost, can you give me directions look.
Yeah, definitely.
And who's busy filming Last Man on Earth, so. No Will Forte fans in the crowd?
Last Man on, oh
He
yeah.
does
you're-
look like Will Forte.
Yeah, like a stand-in.
Okay,
I don't know, he looks like Will Fifte, if you ask me.
I picture a hit at like all the Trader Joe's break rooms. You look so much like one of those tellers, man.
You're a scary looking dude. We could get you cast in something, hopefully. What kind of factory did you work in?
Headlight factory.
A what?
A headlight factory, like headlights for cars.
These are headlights.
Yeah, seems sort of fitting. I was gonna say, you seem like the kind of guy that would breed headlights in a factory. So Spencer, what's your family like? How small of a town are we talking? Let's just get into it.
5,000.
5,000. Holy shit.
In Illinois?
Yes.
Wow.
And do you guys listen to podcasts out there?
Well, I do. I don't think anybody else does, so I think I'm safe.
How do you know about this stuff? How do you find out about the internet with 5,000 people there?
It took a while.
Yeah.
It took a while to get out there.
Do you find yourself interesting?
No.
Okay. Because I like there are comics that just take apart like a show like Naked and Afraid, and I like it. And you seem to do, once you started to talk about the Everest stuff, I kind of saw the Everest joke coming. It took a little long. So I lose that or try to write it better or try to get into that bit better. If you have a big chunk about Everest, maybe I'd try to approach that differently. But what's the most interesting thing about you?
Oh no, it's
You're from a
comedy.
small town.
That's pretty much all. I've got no other. I don't do the Rubik's Cube or yo-yo or guitar. I play a little guitar.
Wow.
I don't do the Rubik's Cube or the yo-yo. I know everybody's having fun with this new thing they call the ball, but it just ain't my thing.
I have a visual of his grandmother raising him and be like, get back in here, boy, and I'm going to let you play with the string again. Is that what it was? Were you a child?
He nailed it. I live with my grandparents.
Are you fucking serious?
Wow. Dude, you just
I should
nailed
work
it.
at a fucking fair.
Yeah. He could be, you guys could all have jobs together. Spencer looks like he lets people on the rides there. Spencer, so you're working at a factory. What other crazy gigs do you have? I would love it if you were my Uber driver. I would just be scared as fuck the whole time, looking in the rearview mirror to see if you were looking at me.
Well, I was a youth developmental specialist for a while.
Oh yeah, we know what that means. The most rugged baby hand job you've ever seen in your life, guys. Develop those youths. Do you think there's any chance you could do anything with Tyler Guizar? Anyway,
When was the last time you got laid?
College,
How old were you?
29.
Okay.
jack that shit up right there. I need that in the loudest volume.
29 looks like when you give up at 26.
Why'd you give up at 26?
Well, when he gets naked, people get afraid.
Pat Reagan has been sitting on a bazooka back there.
That's a funny fucking joke.
1 for 1, Pat Reagan. Only shooting from half court tonight. I love it. Man, you are an interesting. You look like your name would be Spencer Gill.
Yeah?
You fish?
No.
He barely does the Rubik's Cube.
Or the yo-yo. You said them like they were dances from the 50s. I don't do the Rubik's Cube or the yo-yo.
Favorite band in high school?
Fish.
Probably like a White Stripes or something like that.
pictures.
5,000 in Illinois. Did you guys know any black people? Any Mexican people like Tyler, maybe?
No.
All right.
Really?
Is that
There
true?
are a few Mexican people, but no black people.
So you've been out here for a month.
Cincinnati.
Did you get around often before leaving? What's the name of the city in Illinois?
Flora.
Flora. Ooh, God, that sounds scary. That sounds like the exit that you see at nighttime, like just Flora. And there's nothing else around it. One of the top 5,000. Ugh. Just devil's rejects, man.
So what if you plug yourself into these jokes? Like, what if you put boring Brian? What's your name again?
Spencer Gill.
What if you put boring string playing with Spencer with his grandma and his grandpa?
Oh, I got lots of
crisscross
grandpas,
applesauce in the hardwood living room floor with the tube on, watching Jack Benny reruns.
Wow.
What if you put that character into these shows that you watch on TV? Like, what if you put it? If I was on Nick, if I had to ever because you seem.
I do sort of feel like you're like trying to perform a little bit more, like you're going more. Maybe you're a little bit more. Maybe you have a little bit more like in you.
Yes, yeah. I got more. Yes, I have more than a minute.
No, I'm saying like more of like that like South like scary shit that you look like. I feel like you should sound more how you look.
Stuff like that.
Nah, not exactly what I'm talking about. Spencer, I'm gonna get back to something. I sort of got off track here for a second. I agree with everything Bert just said, but also this. Brian was on to something. So you didn't really get out of there much. So like, what's the closest relationship you've ever had with a black person before?
Yeah, did you live in a log cabin? Are you related to Dickens?
And are we seeing it right now with you being this close to Brian Moses? Is this true? Pretty much. This is your closest encounter with a black
I
man?
do comedy in St. Louis when I was back in Florida.
Oh, well, there
This
you
is
go.
black as it gets, that's true.
Yeah, that's the Black Death Star. So we all know that. They all come from St. Louis. St. Louis. I was listening to Nelly's album. What was that one?
How do they take to you?
Country Grammar. I found that album.
Black audiences. How do black
Forget it.
audiences take to you?
Oh, they don't like my racist stuff.
You racist stuff!
Here we go, Spencer. We found it.
This is like when you told us you were fucking Mexican.
Yeah.
First of all, there may be nobody in all the show business right now that's more of a current proponent than free speech and being able to say anything you want than this guy right here, Brian Moses, the host of Roast Battle. So since this is a perfect eclipse, and my black friend with the best sense of humor just so happens to be on the panel,
It's good to be here.
I want to hear some of these racist jokes that you have. Brian, do you as well?
I can't wait to hear this, by the way. Because I was going to say, like, you're a closet racist, but you're totally out. So I like that about you. Because you look like this.
We want you to come all the way out of the closet. If the N-word's in it... Fuck it. I didn't say it, but I didn't correct that random audience member for the first time in 170
I can't
episodes.
wait either.
Spencer, fire off some of your favorite racist jokes for us. This is great. If any black people in the room want to kill Spencer at any point, I mean, you can do whatever you want. But you have to wait till after, and way after, the end of the night, when he's like walking to the bus stop. Can't do it here, all right? You're gonna get us in trouble. The manager's watching right over there.
at the Laugh Factory.
Put your hands together for Jody, everybody. One of the coolest managers. Everybody's so cool. All right, let's hear some racist jokes.
Okay, I get accused of being racist or like white supremacist, but I'm not racist, and I don't even understand white supremacy. Like, if whites were the supreme race, then why does a supreme pizza have everything on it? Shouldn't it be just cheese? You can call me sliced all you want to. I think the supreme pizza should be pepperoni. Pepperoni power! Pepperoni power! I can see there's some veggie lovers in the audience, you goddamn veggie lovers. If you're offended by that joke, you have thin crust.
I love this. Do not be afraid. That wasn't even that racist.
That wasn't racist at all.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, I love how fast. My favorite thing of that entire thing was how fast it went. As soon as the joke started, it went from 0 to 100 real quick, right? He goes, some people say I'm a racist and a white supremacist. like I've never heard that set up in 9 years of doing stand-up comedy pretty much every night. I've never heard someone go, you know, some people say I'm a racist or a white supremacist. You know what I'm talking about, right? When people call you a white supremacist? The way you said that was unbelievable. I feel like you performed in Flora, Illinois quite a few times. Mostly rallies. All right, can we get a press of more?
Hey, Tony, we got some breaking news, though. Jeremiah just had to puke again.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah, I don't want to do it in front of you guys.
Oh, my goodness. And you came out dressed like Peter Pan for some reason.
The wig fell off when I threw up.
Wow. Breaking news here on Kill Tony. There is a mound of gray hair on a pile of puke in the main room of the bathroom right now. Wow, that's epic. The wig fell off. When you were puking, were you still in Alfred voice? Oh, sorry, toilet.
Oh, no. Why do we fall best away? So we can look up
Jeremiah Watkins. Spencer, can we get one more racist joke from you? You have one
give me
to
rape
take your
jokes?
time?
No, it's too long.
Do you have any rape jokes?
Rape jokes, no.
Just try to think of one real quick. Start off with some people call me a rapist.
Some people call me a rapist or, you know, a serial rapist.
Rape supremacist. Give me that fucking hard ass, not the N-word, but I mean like that really hard.
What do you think that? Let me ask you this, Brian. I think this is the question that you're asking. What is the meanest thing that you've ever thought or said about a black person in your life?
Yeah, ready.
What was that? What?
Is it thought or said?
Let's do both. Let's do said first and then thought
You
second.
say both and we'll guess.
I'm not really racist, though.
You can do better than that. Have you ever heard of yes and, Spencer? All right. Nothing on that? Most racist thing you've ever said out loud. You know what it is. You remember. You remember what that situation was like. You're there, you're trying to get a parking spot or something like that.
There's no black people in Florida.
Oh yeah, that's true. It's like a reverse thing. I guess you can't really be that racist. All right, then what's the worst thing you ever yelled at your TV that a black person was on?
Pass the ball.
Oh shit.
That's the ball.
Holy shit. Spencer, anything?
I got nothing, sorry. Sorry, Johnny.
I love that. It's okay.
Johnny, doesn't he look like the Spencer that owns Spencer's Gifts?
Ironic because he's never been to Spencer's Gifts, I promise you.
I've been there.
Oh yeah.
Why did you pick up a Rubik's Cube?
Oh, one of those, the yo-yos. Spencer, so you were raised by your grandparents?
Yep.
All right. Were they a little racist, you think?
They're
Wait a second. Did you guys hear the...
People with no black people.
Did you guys hear the noise he just made, though? It's so compelling to me. He just, like, moaned like some kind of dying deer.
I can't watch The Price is Right with my grandparents.
Wait, you're telling me... Wait, they're so racist that there's too many black people on The Price is Right for them? That would be the most racist shit we've ever heard in our lives.
Absolutely.
I can't watch this Price is Right, all those fucking... I'm not gonna say it. But it's like, I said enough to put the image in your head. My black friends are all laughing, so we did it again.
Watch The Price is Right. Oh, that's so
That is the funniest shit. Like, this is stuff that you fucking... Look, some people might not get it, and it might take a while, but if you want to do stand-up, and like, it just seems like that type of fucking shit, like, if you talk about... Like, you didn't even think that was that crazy, right? But then you hear that reaction and the explanation and everything, and that's your real thing. That's yours.
Your grandparents were so your grandma, did you say? Specifically, I think you narrowed it down. Or did you say both grandparents? Yeah.
Oh, they're just teaming up.
It's priceless.
Tag teaming each other with races. Oh, look at her run to that fucking. Not wearing a bra. Who doesn't wear a bra?
Well.
And what's that name say on the name tag?
What does that say, LaMichael?
Tyler.
Well, another stinko playing plinko. I see what's going on. Racist Price is Right jokes, everybody.
She's gonna know how much the cleaning supplies is.
Oh my God.
Oh, now this one, there's no way that black man's gonna know what Christ will LeBaron. I fucking love this bit, man.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Watching The Price is Right with racist grandparents.
Yeah.
So good.
It's, by the way, it's a fantastic fucking bit.
Doesn't need to even be able to guess the price of the car if he just takes it off the lot right after the show's over. Watch those keys, Bob Barker.
Hey, Miguel, it's in dollars, not pesos, okay?
Oh, we through. We're going back to Africa.
That's amazing. No, you're absolutely right. I hope they win a trip to Africa. That's amazing. Nobody heard it. That's Brian Moses. Unbelievable. I mean, what are you learning here, Spencer? I mean, the same thing we've been learning all night is if you dig a little bit, you find out something about you that's, priceless to you, then you have a fucking gold mine. And racism with Price is Right, I mean, it's so universal.
It's the cleanest show and the nicest, most friendly show, and you can't watch it with your grandparents because they're too racist. Yeah.
Showcase, showdown, motherfuckers. Always making they have to have a certain amount of them win. That ain't even the real price. They need to let them win sometimes so that America sees them win.
How are you gonna have a 6'3" black man spin the wheel against a white girl? That ain't fair. I love this bit, man.
Yes.
They need to put the club on that wheel, stop them from spinning.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Sure. They can all gamble on how much the car is, but that's gonna go steal it anyway. I fucking love it. I want this bit. I want to meet your grandparents. I want to watch The Price is Right with your fucking grandparents.
Bob Barker better watch his beauties or they're about to get raped. There you go, Price is Right show. It's all yours, Spencer. It's your story. You get it. Tonight you won your own Price is Right joke. There he goes. Spencer Joe. Give that last part.
I love Judge Judy, though.
I can't figure out exactly what you look like right now, Jeremiah. There's something like with that haircut, like it's some kind of because you don't have your normal flare-out thing. You normally use a curling iron before the show.
He looks like the guy from Kingpin, not Jim Carrey, but the other.
Oh yeah, Woody Harrelson. Oh yeah, anyway. He looks like both of them somehow. You look like the entire cast of Kingpin. Oh my God. Oh, by the way, if you haven't seen Kingpin, you have to rewatch. If you haven't seen it in the past 5 years, you have to watch it again. It's literally it's right up there with the funniest movies ever. Yep. Made by the same guys that made Dumb and Dumber, the Whatchamacallit brothers, Fairley brothers. But I honestly, and you could take the Pepsi challenge to this, watch Kingpin again if you don't think that it's better than Dumb and Dumber. I'll buy you a donut. And I spent most of my life being a Dumb and Dumber guy. I think this was just 2 years ago that I rewatched Kingpin, and I was like, this is fucking crazy. Because I don't really laugh out loud at anything, but there's so many parts of that that's nuts. It takes a while for it to get cooking, but 15 minutes in, it's straight up.
It's like a cult classic. Dumb and Dumber is like a straight up.
Yeah, mainstream.
Yeah. I disagree. I
Dumb and Dumber
rewatched it
starts
a
funny.
month ago and it was awful.
Kingpin?
I was the biggest Kingpin fan my
You
whole
have
life.
terrible taste in
No, I swear to God. I got the
Notoriously
book Comedy
bad taste.
Writer because I loved Kingpin so much. And I rewatched it a month ago. It
You
was
got a
not
book
good.
called Comedy Writer?
It's called The Comedy Writer from the guys that wrote the movie. It's a good book.
I pulled another name out of the bucket. It looks like a new name. Put your hands together for John Gamora.
You guys are good people. We don't have good people like you back home in hell. You know? A little bit about me. I come from a family that likes to buy a lot of meat rubs. I don't think it's a secret already, you guys. I am a sex therapist on my free time, you know? I like to help people. And when I was before the show, I was actually going through the audience, listening to things that, as a sex therapist, concerned me. I heard from this side of the room, how do I become a sex symbol again? And look at me. Becoming a sex symbol. I haven't been a sex symbol since I was a child. I heard from this side of the room, is anal the only way to save my marriage? Yes. Yes, it is. I love, exploring the sex, that people have, what people find interesting, I love it when, oh, thank you.
Fuck yeah, John Gamora. Wow. Fuck yeah, John.
The crying game.
Thank you. It's nice to meet you. This is your first time on the show, right? Have you've been here before? You've seen the show?
Mm-mm.
I'm pretty sure this guy just came out of the closet. He got so excited at you, John, that he's knocking bottles over right now.
Hey, Tony.
Yeah?
I think this is one of the guys that guy's grandparents would hate on Price is Right.
Well, look at this. Look what we got here. One of those, what do we call them, girly boys. John, what's your story, man? Where are you from?
From Sacramento.
Sacramento. How long you been in LA?
3 months now.
3 months.
How old are you?
I just turned 21 last week.
You're a baby.
Wow!
Yeah.
Wow. Jeez.
It's going to be really hard. You're still discovering a lot about yourself at 21, and coming from Sacramento, which I don't is like the tacky capital of the world or something. It's not like the most open-minded place.
That's chill.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's chill.
Okay. And so, but it's going to be really hard. Like you gotta I don't know. I wouldn't even know where to start.
Wait,
You're so likable
what's
when
chill?
you come on stage.
What's chill, Sacramento?
Yeah, you're saying it was.
He said it was true.
Hottest women
I
in
mean,
California.
if there's anybody that's been on the show tonight that would definitely love Sac, I would think it'd be you. But Sacramento's a pretty god-awful city. You know that, right?
It's the worst. It's the worst. But it's like you were saying it in the frame, in the context of oh, it's not safe. It's chill.
Do
It's
you
not.
do stand-up comedy? Have you done it before?
For the past 3 years.
In Sacramento?
Yeah.
And how long have you been in LA again? A month?
3 months now.
3 months. You live here now?
Yeah.
What are you doing for work?
I work at a Section 8 listing company.
Wow.
Okay.
Section 8 listing.
Who files Section 8? Like, do you interact with people that are filing for Section 8, or do you just?
No, we just interact with the Section 8 house, for apartment complexes, and then just, list them onto our site.
Yeah.
What'd you do in Sacramento for work?
I went to school full time.
Study what?
Graphic design.
Graphic design. The string around your neck, it's very confusing to me. If you pull that, does your head fall off?
It's so hard for me from the outside looking at you because you have so much persona, so much.
On the outside, and I'm looking in. I can speak to you. See your true colors, 'cause inside I'm empty.
That's what I was thinking. You have so much personality, so much persona on stage that your persona is overriding anything you're saying. So kind of. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like if I came up because of what I look like, and I was like, "What's up, motherfuckers?" Like that's my energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Yeah, that's right, bitches." Yeah, fucking take some, get some, what's out here? That's a little bit of my act, but so what you have to do is I think you really have to focus on writing a joke, like a set-up punch. And don't, it's so dangerous for me to give you any insight, because I really am coming from a totally different side of stand-up than you are.
Yeah.
But you're so likable. The second you came out, I went, I already like this kid. He looks like a fucking lead singer of a band I dig.
Totally, you have a ton of charisma, and I think Bert's definitely spot on. Like, it's like, you should be more direct with what you're saying. Like, you're like, I'm a sex therapist, I like that in my spare time. You know, I'm like, what are you saying? You have a lot of sex.
Do you have a lot of sex right now?
Yeah.
Tons. No. Not really, no.
Oh, then don't lie to him. Tell him the truth.
But I'm not lying.
You said you were a sex therapist.
Why can't I be?
Look, you're not having
Are you
sex.
certified? Are you certified as a sex therapist?
No.
And you're not getting laid.
I just think it's funny.
Yeah, but we don't.
But that's the thing, is that
I'm on the outside, not looking in.
But what I'm saying is, you do think it's funny, hey, I'm a sex therapist, but that actually puts a lot of questions in our head. Oh, this kid's getting a lot of fucking action right now. Who's he fucking? Where is he fucking? But you're not fucking anybody. So be open with who you are. I'm gay and I'm not gay. You're gay, right?
No.
That's why I didn't want to touch it. That's why I didn't want to touch it.
You are, right?
No.
You're not gay? You're straight?
See, that's why I didn't want to touch it.
Hold the fucking phone!
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to touch it. I didn't want to be presumptuous because you didn't say you were, you know, and I didn't know if you were like trans. You know what I mean? I don't want to be insensitive to you.
It's what everybody in the room was thinking. Do you know that, or are you unaware of that? I had to go through this too at one point. People told me that I seemed gay in every single way, and I just sort of didn't see it. But now, like, I am joke about it and stuff like that. It's okay because I acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Do you know that you seem that way? Like when you bought those capris? You're like, I'm gonna get so much pussy with these.
And you said you like anal. You said anal. Like
you did say anal.
Yeah.
Twice.
That's why it was confusing.
I
think then let's start from scratch.
Yeah.
You confused the fuck out of us. Own who you, like, be who you are, but let us know who you are.
You were raised by a single mom. You have 2 older sisters. Am I correct?
No.
Fuck.
Yeah, we don't know who you are. We want to know because you're so fucking likable, like Bert was saying. We want to know everything about you. I kind of want to date you.
Single mom though, right?
Huh?
Was your dad in the picture?
Until I turned 18. Did they divorce? So I was not a single mom yet. It was not a single mom situation.
Gotcha. They fought a lot?
Yeah.
What does your father think about you?
Yeah, I don't
Honestly.
know. I don't know, actually.
You don't know him? Do you guys have a relationship?
A little bit.
A little bit?
I think this is sort of where we're
this is almost, this is too much to dig.
We're almost getting somewhere though.
I'm
Last time you talked to your dad, I mean, do you mind talking about this? 'Cause it's always fun to find out the compelling stories of people, because everybody's so different. So like the last time you talked to your dad, what was that like? Well, how does that happen? How does that end? How often do you guys communicate?
Well, he's been around he was around when I was growing up, but he was like an alcoholic, so it's like one of those things where you're like,
Did he ever hit you?
Huh?
Did he ever hit you?
I mean, nothing like beyond the belt.
Is he the one that
It was
tied?
just like-
Is he the one that tied the string around your neck when you were a little boy?
Okay,
Only
now
my
I'm
father-
totally seeing you for who you are.
Only my father knows how to disengage this knot.
Bert's also a father, so
Yeah. How much did your dad drink for him to be that kind of guy?
I don't know. It was
Every night?
Every night, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you drink with him?
No, I don't drink.
So what we're getting at is, let's just do a show of hands real quick. And this is no judgment and whatever, but if you thought that he was gay when he came on stage, just raise your hand. So it's as if we were misreading everything you were saying, because we had And this isn't racist, this is called comedy. This is like, when you go up on stage, you're presenting a piece of art.
It's literally the same thing you saw us go through if you were here during Tyler Quasar. When he's like, by the way, I'm Mexican. It's like, we thought he was white.
It's also a reflection on us because we're also assuming that you're gay. You never said it, so it's a reflection on, we're all bad people. That's what we think gay people are.
And you're beautiful. I
Oh
mean,
my God.
you're a fucking good-looking dude, and you have perfect locks of hair, and...
I mean, you called yourself a sex symbol at one point during your 60 seconds. You do know that, right?
I am aware.
Dude, I am totally seeing his personality now.
Are you just not gay yet because you realize this is broadcast? And you're like, wait, go want them to find out on a stupid Ustream show or whatever.
Cut to this, they have this podcast streaming live right now at a bar that his dad's drinking at, just looking up like, what the fuck? Are they calling my son gay? I'm gonna go get back in his life right now. Could be happening.
That's the newest age way to come out of the closet. Like, so recently I came out of the speaker.
I came out to my father on Periscope, and...
So then tell us something about you, because with what you present on stage, like, tell us a part about you that's interesting. Have you ever been in a fist fight?
No. Have you ever been in a cat fight?
Have you ever been fisted?
You got a girlfriend?
No.
How old were you when you lost your virginity?
18.
18.
Yeah.
What was that like for you? Was it in the skeleton of a Payless shoestrap?
It was in, yes.
Where was it?
It was actually in the Cinnabon next door. No, it was at my house. Like the apartment, you know, right here. Yeah.
That's fun. What was she like?
Fine.
You guys just got done. What did you guys do before that?
Drink.
Stand up, actually.
You did stand up.
Yeah.
At 18.
2021,
3 years.
Yeah.
Yep, that makes sense. Huh? She did stand up too.
A little bit.
Interesting.
The only thing you're gonna get, look, I'm 43 years old. You're not, don't fucking take anything I say, take it with a grain of salt. The only thing you're gonna get from me is a perspective of who will sit in an audience one day and what I saw on stage and what misled me. And that's it. So not all, and don't take that for a grain of salt, but use it to assume, hey, maybe not everyone gets the vibe I'm putting out.
Yeah.
And like Tony said, acknowledge it and move past it.
Look,
and be who you are. Be exactly who you are.
An interesting thing that happened with me in my development here actually was the old talent coordinator Tommy ran everything here. And I was like a few years in, 3-4 years in, and he started telling my friends and other people like, well, he's gay, and he's not talking about it. When Tony's honest with himself and acknowledges how gay he is, then maybe he'll be a paid regular sometime. But until then, until he's real with himself, like, I got wind of this from my buddies that are like, dude, Tommy thinks you're gay. That's why you're not a paid regular yet. I'm like, what the fuck? So, this is a true story, by the way. This is all real. So I literally, I'm not even kidding. That week, I'm like, all right, so I know how to fix this, because I'm not really gay. So I'm going to acknowledge why I seem gay. Okay, gotcha. I'm going to acknowledge why I seem gay. And I'm going to write a thing about what is gay about me. So I wrote a thing about having a gay face and sounding gay and all this shit. And it killed harder than anything that I ever did before. And then there was 2 or 3 years where I couldn't do a set without opening up with that exact joke because it got everything out of the way immediately. You need to figure out what your gay face is.
And it's not.
There's a lot more.
Do you have string around both of your heads? Maybe loosen the little one a little.
You have more of a. It's not really your face that's gay because you could totally be banging pussy by your look. You have a super gay swagger. Yeah. Super fucking gay swagger. I've never seen a straight man look out into the audience and basically be like, because I am a sex symbol. Like that.
Also, you're holding the microphone and you've been twisting it the whole time while you've been talking.
A lot of that, a lot of movement.
You can't help what people in the audience are going to think, but they are going to think it. People think I'm fucking fat. They're wrong.
You're right. Tom's fat. If you want to see what fat is, look up Tom Segura on Google.
Oh, come on. Why are we keeping this? John, so tell us one more interesting thing about you. Any special skills or talents? Anything that you can do that makes you special?
You've never had a gay experience? At all?
No.
Really?
My legs hyperextend. That's the one thing that's interesting.
Whoa. Do they hyperextend when you're behind another dude? Is that?
Alright, so it's like you're
Wait,
not
what
gay,
was that? Do that
but
again.
your body wants to be gay.
He's a gay demon!
It's a big demon. Can I see your legs hyperextend again? What was that? Oh yeah. That's so that you can back up in the cock better. Your body is actually trying to tell you something.
Yeah.
John, no gay, no, so you're saying not gay at all?
No.
Don't fucking love me like that. What the fuck was that? Like,
Even the way you said you're not gay was the gayest way. I don't want you to fucking second guess anything about your life, but you're like, no.
Yeah, it felt like you were gonna like pull a lollipop out of your mouth after you said that.
seriously.
No, and I never will be. I'm a sex symbol.
Erotic.
Huh?
You just ooze sex.
Oh, thank you.
You do. You seem horny as fuck.
Like you like a Michael Hutchins.
You jerk off a lot? You a horny guy?
Not really, no.
Wow. Interesting.
Man,
Who are you?
yeah.
I think
Who are you?
he's like that section of the store where you don't know if it's men's or women's clothes.
Unisex.
Well, there's a bra, but there's also a pair of work boots. So
You are hotter than my wife.
here we are. We're in the Who Are You chamber with
You
John.
wet. You wet. 140, I'll take it.
Wow, fucking welterweight. John, anything else other than you've been hyperextend your legs? Something that you've been through personally or a secret? You know.
Any weird camp stories?
Tyler told us he was hanging out with a girl that had was drinking hand sanitizer, for example. Any weird friends? Do anything weird?
Weird fucking friends.
Any like times you walk around West Hollywood and a guy mistakes you as gay and you have to explain to him, no, I'm not.
But you'll take the money anyway?
Oh, yeah. No.
Where are you living now that you're in LA?
Downtown.
Downtown.
You have a lot of guy friends, a lot of girlfriends.
They're a good mixture. Yeah.
You know I'm over this, John. God damn it. I know something about you. What makes you interesting besides everything?
You ever try to suck your own dick?
Yes.
Me too. That's all I needed to know. Next!
What happened?
Doesn't it look like if you lift up the back of his hair, there's a little small tiny cowboy hat?
Oh, don't ever tap me on my shoulder like that again. That's not a thing you can do. I stopped that because I'm like, wow, Brian might have something really good here. He's never tapped me on my back, in the middle of my back before.
Just in case.
Doesn't it look like he has a tiny cowboy hat?
Alright.
Of all the things going on here, a tiny cowboy
It
hat?
looks like he has a little bitty, tiny, small cowboy hat underneath his hair.
John, you're into fashion a lot? Do you always dress like a rock star, sort of? You always have that thing?
Yeah.
Maybe you called yourself a sex symbol. What do you mean by that? Tell us more about that. What are you talking about?
I guess, I think, when you're on stage, it's like you're just desexualized to the point of what's that? Or if you're like, fuck, people are like, aha. So, being so forward with the fact that I do consider myself a sex symbol is a powerful statement in itself.
Okay, talk about anal. You said an anal joke. Have you ever done anal?
How many marriages have been saved by anal?
Not a lot.
They've been ruined by it.
Have you ever fucked a chick in the ass?
No.
So you have no experience. Sometimes they shit blood.
Sometimes?
Yeah, so anal's not the greatest fucking savior. Once you fuck a chick in the ass, then you'll have a different perspective of anal.
Okay.
It's
Sometimes they shit blood, and the guy fucking them gets so excited that he passes out because he mixed his blood pressure medicine with Tums or whatever the fuck.
You should fuck a chick in the ass before you talk about anal.
That's
not
true.
it. If you don't talk about riding horses, if you've never ridden a horse.
Yeah.
Or fucked a horse in his asshole.
A lot of girls have undiagnosed internal hemorrhoids also. It gets messy.
Yeah, they get diagnosed with these hemorrhoids after fucking Brian.
Brian would take one life experience he's had and generalize it for all. It's my favorite thing about him.
A lot of women would have hemorrhoids they don't know about.
A lot of girls get crabs when they ride in jet.
Your dad's never called you a faggot? Like, for real?
Oh, I love that. Let's get right to it. Welcome to the truth
I'm
chamber,
saying, like,
John.
friends of mine, you know what I mean, who aren't as effeminate that's happened to. I'm not saying that.
But for example, I got called a faggot on Comedy Central last week. Live on Roast Battle, and wait for it. Comedy Central didn't bleep it. What does that tell you? I'm a faggot. And I mean, I'm sure they wouldn't bleep it for you. If they didn't bleep it for me, I mean, look, I acknowledge that I have some feminine qualities, but you're like 30, 40, 50% at least more than me. I think I'm hyper-aware enough to know. Right? 30, 40% more? I'm really not gay, but I'm almost as gay as John Gamora. Jesus Christ.
What's your ethnic background?
Like a mixture of thing. Like I
We got that.
like a mutt.
Italian, Spanish, gay, what else?
Yeah, I just consider myself like an ethnic mutt because I like a lot of different things.
Yeah, okay, your mom and dad were just they were just like 9 different things?
Yeah, like my mom's from Hawaii, but she's not Hawaiian, you know.
Okay.
And
So you got a little Keanu Reeves going with you?
yeah.
What was your dad? He's not around anymore?
Dad's like Mexican and Spanish, I think.
Mexican and Spanish.
I
Wow.
gotta know
Double
who this guy
decker.
is. God damn it.
Yeah.
Double decker, remember when Taco Bell had this? The hard shell and the soft shell. That's what
They still have them, Tony.
They do? Oh, you're.
Now they have the Doritos.
I bet
I have one bit of advice.
You would know that. That's why you hang with girls that have interior hemorrhoids. They don't know that. Picked up this chick at Taco Bell. Went south of Hemo.
Do you see how hard it is for us to get to know you?
Yeah.
Okay, stop.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I mean, unless you don't, like, Daniel Tosh doesn't want you to know anything about him. And he just writes jokes. So just write jokes or open up. You got so much loaded in what we already are wondering about you that we want to know.
When you come out of the closet, confetti and balloons are going to come down from the sky. Like, it's going to be incredible. Alright, I guess I'm just kidding. John, do you have any reason why you would, think that being gay is bad, or do you think you would admit it if you were gay?
Yeah. There's no reason it's bad.
You love pussy, huh?
So much.
The lie detector test just went.
The lie detector just exploded.
Do you love pussy? Almost as much as Hanukkah.
Alright, there he goes. John Gamora, everybody. We met him here. He's John Gamora.
He's not on Twitter, but he's on Tinder.
No, he's not on Twitter. He's not on Twitter.
That was incredible.
We have a regular that does a new 60 seconds every single week. This week's no different. Put your hands together for Vanessa Johnston.
What? Oh, God? Okay. It's so weird that we give Bibles to children. It's all about murder, rape, and alcoholism. And then we create songs about it. Jesus died, Jesus died. The kid's going, what? I'm 4. It's such a weird way to teach children about murder. With Jesus, thorns in his face, all his friends knew he was going to die, we're getting pumps for it. The kid's going, what kind of fucked up world have I been born into? And that's when teachers always go, that's why you believe in God. God will protect you. He's like, what? He couldn't even protect him. What the fuck do you want? It's so weird. I've got it. You guys are just not important in this. Oh man, I forgot my last joke. Okay.
Fuck yeah, Vanessa Johnston, 52 seconds. Talking about Jesus. That fuck up Jesus Christ. That fucking loser got stuck up on the cross after talking all that shit.
What if you don't know?
I mean, that's basically what you're saying, right?
What?
That Jesus was like sort of a fucking loser?
No, it's just weird that we give 4-year-olds Bibles when it's so fucked up. I just feel like it's so ingrained in us we don't think about it. My last joke was probably the best joke, but I can't remember.
I went to a Catholic school for 12 years, and I agree. I think putting religion on a kid is absolutely weird. Bert, what's your approach on it?
Well, my approach...
You're a heavy drinker. Normally those are Christians, Catholics.
My approach, you know, talking about God's tough.
I just imagine Jesus being like John, like, yeah guys, thou shalt not kill.
Nothing is...
Angel's great, I'm a sex therapist, come on, let me build you a cross.
Oh my god, are those holes in your hand? You're gonna give me the best fucking hand job ever right now. I'm gonna fuck that holy hand. It's not even paying attention. Look at this guy over here. What the fuck's he texting? Dear Dad, there's something I need to tell you once and for all. Still has no idea what I'm talking about. Look how great this is. Still doesn't. Still doesn't. You can't even pick
God,
up.
I wish somebody would gobble my dick right now.
Vanessa, so fuck yeah. So Jesus, what were we talking about?
We were talking about, Jesus is a big subject to try to approach in 60 seconds.
And one of the things that's, you know, also sort of tough is that it's literally the oldest subject matter that you could possibly talk about. Like, unless you're talking about how, like, stuff grows.
And one of the easiest to turn the whole audience around.
No, I know, and I knew that. It's weird because this week, it's worked every time I've done it in a set. It's worked really well, but it's always been prefaced with other jokes.
Right.
And comics have even come up to me and like, oh my god, I love those jokes.
Yeah, that
but I
makes
was
sense.
worried that in the minute structure it would work, and I think that without it it doesn't work in a minute.
What's your history with religion?
Comics that want to have sex with you come up after and they're like, oh my god.
No, this female comic.
I love this little rivalry that I've noticed over like 40 episodes with you and Pat. Like he always says something and you're just like, shut the fuck up. Like you guys have this hilarious like brother-sister thing going on. It's like, shut the fuck up, Pat.
You know how long it took me to get a compliment about my comedy?
Yeah, you didn't get that.
7 years and Jim Norton was like, you hear that stupid fucking Bert joke? And I was like, yeah, and he goes, that's alright.
Yeah. It's so funny.
That picture about coming to the cookie though, that's the shit.
That's not joking.
That's the one.
Jesus is a tough subject, and you know everyone's covered it, so you got to really find a different approach. And I like that you kind of came at it from a different way about what a kid's perspective is. But yeah, like I grew up Catholic, and so I don't know. I never really questioned the fact that God let His Son die.
Great, that was my next joke, that he sacrificed his only
now it
son.
is.
Oh yeah, this comes.
No, because it's weird. That was the joke. So that God sacrificed his only son, and then you're like, wait, you said I was his kid too. And then they're like, yeah, the writers fucked that part up. That was the last joke, but I forgot it. But anyway, yeah, it's really weird. So
I had a joke about Jesus. I had a joke about Jesus a long time ago. That the premise was, there was like when Jesus was alive, there was only like 1,200 people on the earth. So like it was like being the best wrestler in Iowa. Like it wasn't that hard to be famous back then. It was like, yeah, be famous now. Now be Jesus.
Well, the only black guy before Illinois, Jesus.
Yeah, exactly.
Got him!
There you go.
Jesus is a tough subject matter.
He died during the Jesus show. So, yeah, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, you know, what's interesting is that, like, yeah, it's just a fucking book, right? So it's almost like the modern day version of that is like Game of Thrones or something like that. Like it almost seems that that's a better modern day Bible. It's like, yeah, there's this guy that came back. There's this great book about this guy that died and came back. His name's Jon Snow.
You know where you're losing me, and I think I figured it out, is that you're talking about giving the 4-year-old the Bible. No one really actually gives a 4-year-old a Bible. They make for their christening or whatever, but they don't. No 4-year-olds flipping through the Bible like, oh, that's fucking catchy, you know? Oh shit, now I walk through the valley of darkness? Oh hell yeah, I'm gonna say that shit going into preschool. But you do take children to church where a man is nailed on a cross at the front, and then you do pitch the rhetoric of, no, God loved his only son so much, he did that to him. I love you, buddy. Like, that is fucked up.
Imagine what he would have done to the other son that, like, he didn't like. His other son, John Gomorrah. You know what I mean? Like,
but it is a good, it's only faulty in the logic of giving a 4-year-old a book. And I think that's where you lose people, but you're on to the right avenue, I believe, with the concept of what the story is.
Okay.
And you know you're going to help now that you've told that, so whatever.
It's just a bad read for a 4-year-old. I think that's the moral of the story.
It's a bad story for a 4-year-old.
Yeah. Hop on Pop from Silverstein. No, he's fucking Jesus Christ died.
but it all goes back to the fact that you are doing one of the craziest things in comedy history by writing and performing a new 60 seconds every single week in front of everybody's eyes. There she goes again. Vanessa Johnston, everybody. What do you guys say we go to the bucket one more time, huh? Go to the bucket, get a random stranger up here?
One more time.
Is it me, or does Jeremiah, is Jeremiah strangely dressed like an out-of-work magician? Your hair looks like it's connected to that baseball cap.
Got it.
Fuck yeah. You guys ready for one more comedian or what? Anything can happen. Bert's blood pressure is out of control. Are you guys ready for one more comedian? Alright. How about Casey Stoddard?
I had to break up with my last girlfriend because I found out that she was poking holes in my condoms. And I was like, are you insane? Do you want your sister to get pregnant? My little sister just came out of the closet. She's a lesbian, and I'm proud of her, but I feel like I should have known. Like, I remember whenever we would try to play rock, paper, scissors, she was always too busy eating pussy. My girlfriend clogged the toilet. It's all my fault, though. Should have cut her into smaller pieces. If you had hooks for hands, you wouldn't be able to do air quotes.
Fuck yeah. Casey Stoddard coming in. You did it. Came in at the end of the show. You sort of look like a combination of everybody that we've seen tonight. And you came in and you did what they all refused to do. You wrote setups and punchlines and you executed them right down the barrel. KC. What's your story, man? Where are you from? How long have you been on stand-up?
I'm from Michigan. Just moved out here about a month ago.
How long have you been on stand-up?
Started when I was 19, but I didn't really start doing it regularly until I was like 22. Oh, about 4 years. 4 years? Yes.
Oh, what do you do for work?
I haven't found a job yet. Still looking.
Wow, must be nice.
Not really. I'm a little nervous.
Where in Michigan? Traverse City?
I grew up near Lansing, but I went to college in Grand Rapids, and that's where I started.
I live in Traverse City.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they have a comedy club in Grand Rapids.
Yeah.
You went to the Traverse City Comedy Festival?
Must have.
Me too. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
That's where I made friends with Sinbad.
I went to the Grand Rapids comedy. Did they have a Grand Rapids one too?
Yeah, Laugh Fest.
Oh, never mind. Grand Rapids, sorry, that's the only place I know.
Oh, I did Traverse City Comedy Fest with Sinbad and had dinner with Michael Moore while he convinced us that OJ's son was the one that did it. It was pretty fucking epic. Like I remember we're all sitting there in the beginning, like dinner started, and it's like, yeah, I think OJ's son did it. And cut to like 8 skeptical comedians sitting at a dinner table, like, yeah, right, Michael Moore, whatever. 2 hours later, we're just all leaning in like this. And that's how the knife got there. It was the kid all along. We're like, you motherfucker! It's like what you would want hanging out with Michael Moore to be like in your imagination. It's just like, what people don't know is that there was this piece of evidence here. Anyway, it was great. You reminded us of those great times, Casey.
Yeah, of OJ killing his son. That's what you reminded
us. Son killing his mom and her boyfriend, or guy, whatever it was.
How much time do you have?
I've been like 35.
Really? And all just set a punch like that?
No, I'm starting to do longer stuff. I just
No, yeah.
longer stuff's probably I think the shortest one has like a minute and a half. Maybe.
Does it depart from the character of who cuts up his girlfriend and fucks her sister?
Yeah, it's it's like stuff that happened to me.
Yeah.
That's no, it's just like personal stories.
How do you like living in LA compared to Michigan?
I just said the same thing over. I like that. It's good. I was in Chicago before I came here, and it was too cold.
So what are you trying to do for work out here?
I don't know, in the office or something.
Office or something.
Yeah.
I think Jeremiah almost puked again after that.
He does look
Jeremiah, are you okay?
He looks sick, dude.
I'm trying to make it through this last meeting.
Okay. Jeremiah, if you want to sit in the back for a little bit, you can go ahead. You look really bad.
Really bad.
I don't know why. I love it. Like Jeremiah treats like this rinky-dinky podcast like it's fucking Iraq War or something like that. I can't leave my friends behind. You guys just keep going. I'm gonna be right here. I got you covered. I think I got one more joke left in me.
It hurts me every time you make me laugh.
Well, it's also the best medicine, so get well soon, my friend. KC, you absolutely killed it tonight. That was really, really, really great stuff. I'm excited to see more of you in the future.
Yeah, sadly, I don't have any fucking notes. I just keep writing. It's really fun.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's fun. We'll get your Twitter handle out there, and a bunch of people will tell you how funny you were. Oh, you're not on Twitter.
No, I wrote it on there.
No, you just wrote
You
Casey's.
say it now. You're a little hard to talk to.
Yeah, no,
Like, dude, what are you talking about? Some personal stuff? What's that? Other stories about my life that no one knows about. I have a Twitter. Yeah, I wrote it on there. It should be on there. Why is it? Maybe I'll get it to you later. Hey, you can fucking say it right now.
Oh, it's just, I wrote, okay.
Well, Jesus Christ!
It's Casey Stoddard, but it's CASEY_STODDARD, because I wrote my name as Casey, because I got good.
Man, the most boring thing about you is your Twitter handle. That's pretty crazy, Casey. Normally that's not the thing, but Casey, that is awesome. Good luck finding a job in an office or something. And
Very funny, man.
Nice to meet you. There you go. Welcome to Los Angeles, Casey Stoddard. Casey_Stoddard. Guys, guess who drew tonight's episode? It's Ryan J. Ebelt. Look at that. Wow, that's crazy. I'm some kind of monster. We all are. Oh, that's great. That looks like you, Moses. Moses, the picture looks just like you. We did it again, everybody. Live audience, thank you so much for coming to this episode of Tell Tony. You did it. Jeremiah Watkins is on Twitter, so is Pat Reagan. What do you guys want to promote?
At Jeremiah Stand Up on all social media, and then if there's any Death Squad fans in Billings, Montana, I'll be headlining there next week. It's my first official headlining set.
All the great start in Billings, Montana.
Hey, watch the Eric Andre show season 4. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, Pat Reagan's a writer of the Eric Andre show.
Very funny.
A lot of people saying it should be nominated for an Emmy for writing this year. Yeah. A lot of people say the best writing, Emmy Award quality. I know that as a member of the Writers Guild, I'm putting in my vote for you guys. Joel Jimenez is mostly sorry on Twitter. We love them on the drums, the ones and twos. And guys, what's happening? Promote it. Roast Battle, ComedyCentral.com. Brian Moses is the host.
That's out.
Yeah, iTunes. What else, Moses?
Yeah, we're on iTunes TV right now. I think we'll be on Hulu very soon. Also, check out Wild Now. I wrote on that for this season, so if I can watch that, so I can get my job back.
Absolutely. Back to the peasantry of Wild and Out after hosting a show. But no, that's definitely going to be on the air soon. Roast Battle. Watch every episode of it. Leave comments, rate, review. Bert Kreischer, the machine, ladies and gentlemen. He made it through without passing out.
Got that right.
Pretty epic.
Phoenix, I'm going to stand up live this weekend in Phoenix. When's this come out?
Yeah.
Right now?
It's
I'm
live
in
on
Phoenix at Stand Up Live. You can catch me on Oddball Dates, and that's it. Go to check out my podcast, bertcast.com. I got Bobby Kelly this week.
I'm going to be with them at Oddball as well. That's Bert Kreischer and Brian Moses. Oddball, Boston's Wilbur Theater. Sacramento, San Francisco, coming to you very soon in a couple weeks. And Tulsa in 3 weeks. Right? I'm forgetting something. Australia in October. If you're listening to this and you live in Australia, you have to come see me live because I'll probably never be there again. Brian Redband?
Guys, later.
At Josh Martin Comic, we're opening for Joe Rogan for the first time last weekend. That's a really big deal. Follow him on Twitter at Josh Martin Comic. Live audience, thank you so much. Have a great night. Goodbye.